Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Unspeakable Bliss podcast. So, there's no guest today other than yours truly. I don't know about you all, but I know from my end, there are just too many platforms, too many mediums of social media, let's say. And because of that, I am going to be sharing what I have to share in this way moving forward for at least 90 days, maybe the entire rest of the calendar year. It's March 22nd when I'm filming this. And the reason for that is to consolidate my energy and to just share in one place what's going on, what I'm offering, and so some technical announcements. One, imagine that the journey of your miraculous self. We're going to be having our second meeting tomorrow. This is on a rolling basis, so you can join at any time. The most recent post on Instagram and Facebook, the pinned post has the information for signing up for that. Also, I'll still be posting on Facebook and Instagram, but I'm just going to be uploading the link to this share daily on those mediums. And for today, for the first share of this, I'm going to be reading some of this guy, Ramana Maharshi's works as a little meditation. And before I do that, I'm just going to share with you something that happened today, because I can still kind of feel the activation around this. What it means, I don't know exactly what it means. But I worked out this afternoon, and after I worked out, I went for a jog. And then I hopped in the river right after, which I like to do. Hop in the cold water after working out. And this spot where I went into the river, there was I don't know what the name of it is, but one of these big machines digging dirt near the river. And right across the bridge where I was going in, the entrance to the river after the bridge, there was a little pile of dirt there, so it looked like they might be doing some work there. And I said, I think I'll be fine. The dirt wasn't right where the entrance was. It seemed like I could still get back and up around where I came from. And so I went down to the river, hopped in the water, and on my way back, I noticed that they were now moving the dirt near the entrance, and that's the only way up, the only way back up, because the river's too strong to cross it, and there's no other way back up to get on the path to walk through. And I'm like, oh man, all right, well, I'm going to be waiting here for some time, because I don't know if I can safely get up where I came down. And I tried to wave to one of the construction guys, and he didn't see me, so I'm just standing there, and then all of a sudden I get stung by a bee on my finger. I thought maybe like I brushed up against a hive or something, or it was just a random one. So I pulled the stinger out of my finger, and then another bee stung me. And then the next thing you know, I'm being attacked by bees. I don't know if you can see, but here, this is where it's most painful. I think 2 of them stung me on my head and the back of my head, all over my body. And I just freak out and I jump in the river. But the problem is this is a pretty strong river, and I start getting pulled down the river. I have my iPhone and my AirPods in one hand, and then I'm struggling to swim up out of the river and at the same time trying to find another spot to jump back in the water because there's bees attacking me. It was really scary. I mean, I've never been attacked by a swarm of bees, but what had happened is the tree near where this big truck, it's one of those, there's an easy name for this. Someone could put it in the comments if they know what it is. It's got like a big hand and it was scooping dirt. Anyway, they disturbed this beehive, and I was the closest person, I think, to these bees, and they started attacking me. Fortunately, the swelling, there's not a lot of swelling, and it's very mild, but I also crushed my leg, my lower shin, on a rock as I was frantically trying to get away from these bees. Anyway, I'm just grateful to be alive, because this was very scary situation. I can feel my heart rate increasing just sharing it with you, because it was terrifying. It was a terrifying experience. So, and as I sat down actually to create this, I took care of myself. I meditated. I put some salve on the kind of injury, and it was one of those kind of like chop wood, carry water moments, because I'm like, okay, I'm still gonna create this thing that I want to create and share. That's it. Happy to be here, happy to be able to share, and just grateful to be alive after this ordeal. After some time passed, the construction worker, he saw me. I actually called Sladka and messaged her and asked her to come down to like see if the area was safe. Finally, it was. It was scary walking through the area where all the bees were, but here I am. All right, so last, a word from our sponsors, me, since I don't have advertisements on this podcast. I also have 2 spaces available for one-on-one, a year-long journey with me. And that's for someone that's really committed to their mind, their body, their heart, their awakening process, if we want to call it that. So if you're interested in that, send me a message and we can talk about that. And again, imagine that's the group that I'm running. That's every other week. Tomorrow we have our second meeting, and if you join, you can be in for access for 3 months, and meetings are every other week. I'm also going to be doing, I might even do like an office hours thing and sharing in this way, where I'll have the Zoom link available and people can come in. I'll do meditations, I'll share what I'm creating, all sorts of stuff you'll be seeing from me in a video format. And the reason I'm doing a video format is because I feel that it's the best way that instead of me, I can't tell you how many times I would like write posts out and things like that, and then very little people see them because of the algorithms or however that goes. And my idea in sharing over video is that this, to me, feels like the most authentic way, whether it is a conversation and someone's on the other side of the screen, or I'm here with another person in person. It communicates what it's like to be with me in a more authentic way, instead of me writing out a big long post and 2 people seeing it, which is fine. I'm grateful when 2 people see it, but I think you get the idea. And on that same note too, I was telling Zlatka how I'm taking on this kind of challenge to share in this way more consistently. This is the last thing I'll share, and then I'm going to get into the meditation portion of today's podcast, vlog, whatever, I don't know what to call this. Never in history has it been, when can you make a video? Like right now I'm talking to myself, but I'm also talking to you, but I don't know who you are. I don't know who's going to listen to this. And it's not like, I have struggled over the past 6 years of having an online business and sharing online with feeling authentic. And I think an important thing to point out, one of the reasons why this is because I'm talking to a computer right now and there's no one else on the other side. So yeah, that's gonna maybe feel a little weird. And I'm sharing that as a word of encouragement for someone who maybe wants to express themselves too and feels blocked in that way. That's one of the main reasons why if not the only reason why I do what I do, is because I want to help others and myself to express, share their art, their wisdom, their truth, their joy, their passion, in all the ways that we have available to us. And I think it's a really valuable way. And let's give ourselves a little pat on the back, because when else in history have we had this ability to share in this way? But like I'm sharing to one person, which is you, and I am sharing to you, but I don't know who you are exactly. And so sometimes in my path in this has been, all right, I'm sharing this one specific message and I'm trusting that it will reach whoever it's supposed to reach. But I've tried to speak to like this generic, when we try to speak to, I'll use I don't want to say we. When I'm trying to speak to one generic person that's connected with me through social media, it's very different than when I'm having an actual conversation. But I don't think it has to be different. And there's a little wisdom nugget that I find from, I joke and I say, one of my marketing teachers, it's St. Francis of Assisi. He says, when you speak to one person, act as though you're speaking to 1,000 people. And when you speak to 1,000 people, act as though you're speaking to one person. And that's kind of the message. So this is as much for me as it is for anyone else, because I'm working on authentic self-expression and doing this as a practice. All right, last thing that I'm going to share before I get into these words by Ramana Maharshi, which I will post in the comments as well, so you know where it comes from. And this was inspired by Jayasara. She's a Buddhist monk, and she has incredible meditations online. Jayasara, it's Jayasara. And she did the same thing with the words, these pointers from Ramana Maharshi. So the last thing I want to share is the Courageous Heart Sangha. This is free. It's for anyone to join and express themselves. Right now we have a Facebook group my friend David and I started, but we're probably going to move it all. We'll still post events in there, and our first event is in 3 days, where we're going to be sharing our way-seeking story. That's how we got on the path of the heart. You're invited to it. It's free. It's a place where we want to cultivate a sangha, a spiritual community of like-hearted, like-minded people. So you're invited to that. I will put the group link to that as well. We have a Telegram group, but we haven't actually like officially launched it. But the whole point of all of these things that I'm sharing, and why I'm shifting how I'm sharing, is because there's just too many different WhatsApp, Telegram, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, Facebook, and I've been wanting to just consolidate what I'm sharing and offer people the most authentic experience of what it's like to be with me, to spend time with me. And I want to do that with you, whether you're in the Courageous Heart Sangha, whether you have a one-on-one call with me, whether we end up working together, whether it's an Imagine That, whatever it is. The idea is to express myself authentically, and I encourage anyone else on that journey to do so. And maybe I've done some things that are helpful to do that, and I hope to be an inspiration for you to share yourself, to share your truth, to share your light as well. All right, thank you for listening. Wow, I can't believe it's been 15 minutes. I'm going to share probably 15 minutes of this meditation, so feel free to make yourself comfortable. You don't need to watch this portion unless you want to, you can. And these are words from the gentleman up here, Ramana Maharshi, teacher, incredible Hindu saint. but he wasn't Hindu. He's just sharing truth the way he experiences truth. And I really resonate with his teaching. So this is from, the document is called "The Illusion Created by the Mind Must Be Destroyed by the Mind Itself." Be comfortable. You don't have to be sitting in a meditative posture. Just make yourself comfortable. If you feel the urge to move, feel free to move and receive this meditation. The illusion created by the mind must be destroyed by the mind itself. Your duty is to be and not to be this or that. I am that I am sums up the whole truth. The method is summed up by the words, "Be still." Stillness means destroy yourself. Every name and form is the cause of trouble. Give up the notion that I am so and so. All that we have to do is to give up identifying the self with the body, with forms and limits. And then we shall know ourselves, the self that we always are. Do not associate with the mind that rises like the goddess who smites men with love. Destroy it by abiding in the self. Should you succumb to its spell and embrace it, alas, it will destroy your life by drowning you in the intoxication of pride. That demoness, the mind, is extremely adept at amorously caressing you with false pretenses. Hence this warning. From now on, stay away from that utterly sinful woman without even mentioning her name. That woman, the mind, is a great demoness whose embrace brings death to all. She somehow deceives everyone and brings them under her spell. She is an extremely cunning woman, a thief who practices deception. This murderous, this beautiful and seductive woman is a despicable sinner who has totally ruined the lives of many an aspirant. She is an evil, low-born woman who hates and torments your lawfully wedded wife. Peace. He who is forgetful of the self, mistaking the physical body for it, and goes through innumerable births, is like one who wanders all over the world in a dream. Thus, realizing the self would only be like waking up from the dream wandering. Know that the path of knowledge and the path of devotion are interrelated. Follow these inseparable two paths without dividing one from the other. The lazy state wherein you exist motionlessly and shine is the natural state. In that supreme state, you have become that. It cannot be attained except by direct excellence and rare austerities. You should therefore honor those who are established in that laziness as holy beings. One who asks himself, "Who am I? And where am I?" though existing all the while as the self, is like a drunken man who inquires about his own identity and whereabouts. Bliss is a thing which is always there and is not something that comes and goes. That which comes and goes is a creation of the mind, and you should not worry about it. An I rises forth with every thought, and with its disappearance, that I disappears too. Many I's are born and die every moment. The subsisting mind is the real trouble. That is the thief, according to Janaka. Find him out, and you will be happy. During worldly activity, if your attention is fixed on the fundamental reality, there is no difficulty. But ordinary people forget the reality and take the name alone to be real. The different I's are not real. There is only one I. The separate I is like a watchman in a fort. He is like the protector of the body. The real owner in